Guys, it is very important that we do this today. It has to be done today. Because from here, when you walk out of here on Wednesday, you must have at least one full, complete script done. All the help is in this classroom, in these 2 days. So please don't postpone it. Don't procrastinate. Let's use the time and the resources and the opportunity that is here. Okay, all right? Okay. Okay. Entertainment has become the privilege of the. Do you all see me if I'm like this, like here? Eh? Entertainment is the privilege of the millennials. They will not have it any other way. We must entertain them. Because if we don't entertain them, we lose them. And that we cannot afford. So we have to find a way of entertaining. They are all on their phones all the time. The digital media is something they grew up with, and it is immediate, it is full of drama, and it is on their fingertips all the time. And that is what we are competing against. So be competitive in their area. Okay. It is, so we can take on that challenge. And we have the experience of life being a little bit ahead of them. And we have a toolbox of things to use to achieve that. How do we make a good program then, which they will enjoy? Give me some tools that we can use. Some tools. I have to get switch, otherwise I will not get any responses here from you. Okay, I have some tools here. Oh, this. Excuse me. Whoa, that's terrible in the microphone. It's the air conditioner. Okay, I have lots of lollies here. Excuse me. Whoa. Thank you. Okay. Give me tools to use for competing against the digital media. Okay. Yeah, if you won't mind. No, it's the aircon. It's the aircon. Huh? Are you sure? Okay, tell me when you want it on again. Is it here? No? Yeah, it says off. It says, yeah, it's off. It is off. Okay. Now I can relax and breathe again. Okay. How do we make sure that these youngsters will listen to our programs?
Oh, okay. The type of, let's say, examples we use or stories we arouse them with should be relevant to them. Or for instance, if it's a music, it should be an interesting music that is making trend, that is currently taking place, so that it catches them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can take two suites because I hear two tools. One is music and sounds, and the other one is activities and examples. Yeah. You.
I just want to add something that is relevant to them today. For example, if you talk about a volcano, then you link it to Tonga, maybe the event in Tonga that happened.
Yeah.
And then you start that as an introduction, and then you can go further into...
It's current and it's happening. And
yes.
Yeah, it's relevant.
Same with history lesson, for example, the situation in Ukraine.
Yeah.
With Russia surrounded with... So you can do, go to the 1960s, for example, where Russia put missiles in Cuba pointing at the USA. So
that's right. Yeah. So it's relevance and current examples. Okay. All right. Yeah, music. We have music, we have sounds, we have examples, and a practical activity. They want to see something happening. So it must look like real life. It must look like real life to them. Woo. Okay, I want to, it's at the end of the day though, it's all about good content. So let's not entertain so much that we forget about good content. So good content is that excellent picture that you're starting with. It's the one with the good quality 4K picture that you're starting with. Later on you can change it, but you have to start with good quality. Otherwise, it's your tools that you're working with cannot achieve so much. So the content must be good because you are busy here preparing learners for real life. So let it be applicable to real life. The content must be good. Think if this is something that they need, they will want to learn it. So make it something they want to learn. So good content, very important. A fresh presentation style. So they want to see it from somebody they like or can identify with. Okay? Their teachers should not be their same age, because they don't, this is not in your mind the idea of a teacher, but your examples must be people their age. Okay. And then in terms of fresh presentation style, we're talking about a conversational tone when you are speaking. So the narration, the person you use for narration, that person must know how to speak in a conversational style. Use dialogue, use a little bit of drama, but drama takes time because you have to build it up. So we are trying to move away from drama. Keep it lively, keep it fresh, but it must be professional. But be surprising. not always things that they expect, but also be respectful. So we had the example before about the Dutch with their snot and things and like that, but try to find that balance between being hip and being respectful, because the moment your learners get the idea that you don't respect them, you've lost them forever. You will never get them back again. So there is a balance. It must also be heartfelt, so the more people can identify with your content, the longer they will remember it and the more they will like it. And human. I think we have to get in touch with what is human, because humanness is going out a little bit. So let's remind also our learners what it is to be human, to feel and to touch and to be joyful and to be sad. So in our examples we can use those. That's why we use children and we use animals, we use humor, and sometimes a little bit of sadness to make it human, because increasingly they are using on for news broadcasts actually a robot voice and a robot, and they are becoming more and more human in their presentation. So while we can be human, let's just do it professionally and accurately, then there's nothing wrong with being human. Let's be human. I want to say something about pace. We'll talk a little bit about communication later on, but we can hear about, I think it's 350 words per minute. Okay? Do you know? No, we can speak about 350 words per minute. Do you know how many words we can hear per minute? Guesses. The closest guess gets the reward. We hear 350, no, we speak 350 words per minute. We hear how many words? Sorry? 175? More guesses? No guesses? 400? So, we speak 350 words per minute. We hear 600. You're guessing? 25? Are you done guessing?
For me, if you speak 350 per minute, you cannot hear 1,000. If only 350 is being spoken. 450. No, 1,000. Maybe 100. I think more than 350. No way. Why listen? Quality, if you speak 350 per minute, then nobody can hear more than that.
I was even wrong. We speak only 150. We speak 150 words per minute, but we can hear 1,000. So, who was it who said 1,000?
That's not right. We never hear everything that somebody is talking.
No, but keep them for someone else. No, they're healthy. Especially these, they are not very sweet. No. And who else was it?
What is the Google doctor saying?
What is the problem here? We need our mouths to speak. It takes time to shape words. But to listen, we can hear. It doesn't mean we can understand all those. It means we can hear 1,000 words per minute. Our brains can decipher it to an extent. Yes. Yes.
I mean,
So
that is a guess.
the problem with the problem this creates is that I'm trying to make a point, and you can hear so much faster than I can speak. That is what creates the boredom. So, and that is why you are trying to speak to somebody, and he's already speaking. He's already. I got your point. He's now wanting to respond already because he wants to move on. Our brains are so much faster in understanding than our mouths are speaking. So there is actually a lot faster that we can look. Some movies, the dialogue is really fast, and you really have to concentrate to understand what they're saying. They're speaking really fast, but as long as they speak clearly and the body language supports the message, it's actually it's very real and very entertaining because they speak like they do in real life. Now the educational programs that we are doing, very slow in comparison. That is a problem that we are having. It makes it boring to the listeners. So we are saying that conversational style helps to make up for the fact that we have to speak slow to be understood. Okay? Also, because it's not our first language, and it's things that we have to explain and so on. But it is a problem that we are having. There's we have heard it. I mean, this is like almost times 100 or times 1,000, right? Times, yeah. That the person is wanting you to speak up, just say it. That is a problem that we are having normally in conversations. So let's pick up the pace in dialogue for educational edutainment programs. Let's not wait until it's finished and then a breather and then the other one responds. Let's have it real life. Let's have it faster. Let's have it just more conversational because it's natural. Yeah, so because remember we relate again on a human level. The challenge we're having is that if it's two people speaking, they must really feel the content, it must be real. That's why I was thinking if you need a dialogue, maybe you can record it in a real life situation and ask permission to use it, or do it between friends and just so it's natural, because then it is fast, it is real, it's lively, it serves the purpose then. Sometimes we do have to, like in history, we do have a lot of things to read, and that is where music also helps us. So you start with a bit of music, please, only instrumental, you know that. So otherwise people are focusing on the words and trying to hear what that one is saying rather than the educational program. So music can be, it helps you to digest, and it also helps with the slowness of the talking. So if you have music, you can speak slower because the music helps you digest that problem of having to sit through it all. Okay. We have spoken about examples and activities. Every time you have to upgrade, make it more fresher, more wow. Okay. Just look at it. Is it wow yet? If it's not wow, do it better. Okay. So these are the tools we have. Good content, fresh presentation style, the use of sound, variety, conversational, real life application. Yeah. And the fact that you know that these guys need that information. It's not rubbish you're talking. They need this information. You know that. You know that it's applicable in real life. Otherwise, you would not teach it. So use those things to your advantage. Okay. Now, we are going to critique other people's things and talk about what works and what doesn't work. So if you have some paper and pen or some other document, let's see what works and what does not work. Is it this one? Is it this one? Yeah. What subject do you want to hear? What subject do you want to hear? History? Okay, let's start with history and then take it from there. Okay. So this is 45 minutes long. We will not listen everything. Let's just take a little bit. Why is it not playing? Is it loading? Maybe it's too long. Are all the history programs so long?
I think before the 8 lessons, we have 5 lessons.
Why is it not happening? Okay. Okay, so we go to, did you say physical science? Physics?
Yeah, physics.
Okay, so remember what we said, how should they be? They should have entertainment, they should be good content, there is the dialogue style. Let's see what they have and what they don't have. Why are they not playing?
Sound maybe it's playing. It's not. The sound maybe it's playing.
Listeners, and welcome to our first program in a series of 5 on physics for grade 10 and 11.
Okay, so to begin with, we don't worry now about who is talking and who has written or anything, okay? Nothing is personal. We are just dealing with the content now, okay? So.
My name is Audrey Poulton. Please have a pen and notebook ready and listen carefully. In this program, We are going to explain the production and properties of sound. Let's join Alice and her mum.
Okay, so far, any comments? So that was the introduction. Sorry? Yeah, yeah. It's nice and clear, and they know exactly what's coming. Yeah. But I would have liked to have something lively come before. Okay? So you know that she has to go through all this, but maybe to grab the audience first. There, yeah, thank you.
Will you turn down the volume, please, Alice? I can't hear myself think.
Oh, Mom.
Okay, so problem. What is the problem here? Okay, let me go back a little bit. Okay.
Production and properties of sound. Let's join Alice and her mum.
Will you turn down the volume, please, Alice?
Yeah, what is the problem there? You hardly hear the music, and then you have a loud voice saying, will you turn that down? What is the problem? It's contradictory, okay? So, and it's something that is not the mistake of the writer, it's the mistake of the editor, the one who did the video editing, the sound editing, okay? That should have been so loud that the listeners should have done this, so that they know what is the point you're trying to make, okay? Okay.
I can't hear myself think.
Oh, Mom. This is not loud. You can't be serious. Wait till you hear what they do in the club. You're in for a surprise, Mom.
Alice.
Okay. So you what is? Yeah. Let me hear it from you. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Exactly. She does. And that is why it's sometimes better to have male, female, and then you don't have easily that problem. Yeah. I was going to say something else. What was that? Oh yes. My problem was with that is obvious that she's reading it. It doesn't sound like an annoying something. It doesn't sound like spontaneous from the heart. It's obvious that they're reading. So write down, because others will say those things about yours, or not.
Alice, what are you saying? When have you been in a club? I thought I could trust you.
Yeah, this one is good, because she talks like this could be real.
My own daughter, to be truthful and honest with your father and me.
Mom, stop. Wait a minute. I never said I went there. I just said you must hear what they do there.
Okay, I hear you, but I don't understand what you're trying to say. Let's start over. How do you know what happens there if you've never been there?
Oh, Mom, I have friends, you know, and they...
Okay, anything? Yeah?
go places. They tell me things, and that's how I know. I'm honest with you when I say that I don't want to visit those places. It's not for me.
Thank goodness. I'm glad to hear that. And thank you for being who you are. So
Actually,
tell your old ma what happened.
If this is the thing about sound, and then we can understand why they are talking about the club, but they can get to the topic so much faster. Yeah. We don't need all this stuff about being honest and knowing what's happening there and all that. We can just cut to the chase that much faster.
Happens there.
It's nothing really. Just the sound is so loud that people can't talk to each other.
See this. She could have very easily said. So the point that this writer was trying to make was, it's not good for people actually to be in a club. But now that we're talking about clubs, there's loud sound. Okay? So she was trying to show that she could have just done it in fewer words, much fewer words.
If they want to talk, they must scream to be heard.
And another thing is also, if you want to use the example of a club, but you don't want these kids to actually know what a club is, it's also a problem. Then you should either use another example, or you should say it straight, that clubs are horrible, loud places. And then you continue with your point. Okay? But very careful to preach.
It's obviously things we know about, but to be surrounded with loud and sometimes bad music like that is too much for me.
And she talks now too fast. Because if it was spontaneous, music like that is not for me. If it was natural, it would have been okay that it was fast. But you hear that she's reading and it's fast, then you lose it. Because it doesn't have that natural feeling behind it. Okay.
I keep asking my friends, how do they do it? And why do they keep going back?
I don't know, this is to be better, actually, this last one. Because it's as though she's meaning it.
Apparently they like it, but I have my doubts about that. It feels more as if you must be forced into going.
Sorry? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you're confused about what is it all about.
Going there instead of choosing for yourself to be there. Apart from the unpleasantness of the noise, it can damage your hearing. I wonder how it's that they don't have a law that can limit noise levels, even in clubs. Imagine they expect people to wear protection like ear mufflers to prevent their hearing from being damaged. Haha.
Do you know why it can hurt your ears?
Okay, so this were the problems that we were having with drama. Okay, so to have it fit into for the person to sound like natural, and to be familiar with the words and like that.
It's because of the high amplitude that these loud sound waves have. They have lots of energy which can hurt or even damage your ears. It's definitely worth it to protect your ears against loud noise.
Okay, give me suggestions what they could have done here. Remember, our new style now is just show it, show it, show it. So what are they dealing with here? They are dealing here with... No. They are dealing with how to... the medical potential problems of sound, of too loud sound. Okay? So how do you show that? You need not explain all the detriments. You could have a doctor saying, actually, it does this and this and this. So you need maybe like a male voice, simply because the rest is female voices. So maybe you have a male voice saying, actually, it's bad for this, and yeah, damage the ear, and so on. Okay, show it rather than to list it, explain. Because this girl who is saying it, or the mother, is not an expert. So without saying a person is an expert, you have to be able to identify it. You have to see it and believe it yourself. So, Audrey, unfortunately, you wanted physics, so it is a lot of comments now, but this is just comments that we put in a box, no? So don't take it personal.
In the end, you're the one with the problem if you've neglected to take care in your younger days.
Okay, so this is a mother, yes, a mother can caution, but because it's a medical thing they're talking about, find a way to have somebody with medical authority, okay, to say, in terms of your experts.
I was just thinking now about how interesting sound actually is. It's just a matter of particles vibrating, creating a lot of energy.
Okay, so before she said, I was just thinking about how interesting sound can be. Suggestions? It is the most logical thing here. We're talking, why would you talk about sound if you can play sound? So you can play a range of sounds, different sounds, low and high, fast and slow, different sounds, and then she can just say something like, sound is so interesting and so diverse, you know, be excited about it, show it. So you don't, I mean, there's really no reason to say, I was thinking about how interesting sound is when you can so easily show it. Okay, so always think back to this fish picture, that you write your first draft, you make it fresher, you make it more fresher, you make it more fresher, until you cannot approve to it anymore, until it's alive. Okay.
And causing waves. Did you know, ma'am, that sound travels fastest through solids, and they travel slowly through liquids, and even more slowly through air? But it's also interesting.
Okay, so even more slower through something which I didn't hear? No, the previous one? Liquids, okay. That wasn't very clear, the pronunciation.
That it cannot travel through a vacuum. Sound also travels faster in warm air.
You see, the problem that we're having with our Namibian Namlish, we were driving somewhere, it was in Mauritius, and they had these sugar reeds there, sugar plantations, and this guy was saying, somebody was asking, so do you produce sugar here? And the tour guide said, yeah, we used to produce sugar, but these days we are actually making a tunnel. Now, everybody was now waiting to hear him now explain about this tunnel. Yeah? Can you see the problem? What is the problem? What's the problem? No. It's not a tunnel at all. They're making ethanol.
Oh! Ethanol.
Ethanol. They are using, yes, ethanol. They are using now those sugar reed plantations mostly for ethanol. But he's saying now we are mostly using it for making ethanol. That's the problem we are having with our African English talking. Okay. So let's make sure about pronunciation and about them. Some of the problem can be overcome by saying it with emphasis, because that is all here. He could have just said making, even if he said a tunnel, if there was like a space between making a tunnel, that it could also have helped, but it was mostly the pronunciation that the problem was.
And travels faster in still than in glass, because glass is actually liquid. How cool is that?
Now that you mention that, I'm reminded of the times we spent on the farm when we were children, wandering around in the field, and we would be shouting like crazy. We always marveled at the echoes that came back after some.
Okay, so this again goes back to the exercise that we had here, right? It reminds, so all of this takes time. It reminds me of the time that we were on the farm and we were running in the fields. So it's a lot of words used when actually all you want to say is you want to explain about echoes. So why don't you just go somewhere and create an echo, right? Because it's then very obvious what you mean, and you can say, this we call an echo. If you call and your own voice responds back to you, it's called an echo, and you have it and you show it. Okay.
Time. It always.
But how do you bring in that info while you are like they are in a conversation, it's a mother and a daughter.
Yeah.
They are having a conversation.
Yeah.
Now you want to bring in the echo sound. Where? How?
You don't have to have a mother and a daughter.
Oh, so you are saying it could have been.
What we are trying to do is not so much to have the scene 1, scene 2, scene and it follows. We are trying to have it more like, this is the program we're going to have, we're going to talk about this, and then you take them with minimal narration. You take them from one example to the next, and you show it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that you know, when you come at this AS level, radio, there is no need of scenes like the mother or the 3 characters that we spoke of. Or is it only bringing, if you talk about echo, just bring that echo in. No need for
If it's not necessary for words,
or
leave them.
Because I'm also afraid of over abusing the echoes and these live things. Now everything is just this and the narration and these things totally out. So is a combo or combination, or we stick to the real things only?
I think it is better to use sounds. Don't worry about overusing them. If you can use a lot, but not use up a lot of time doing it, it adds to that variety of sound and voice, which makes it interesting and which makes it alive. The narration is only to explain if it's not clear enough, or to tell the people what it was they heard. That is what we call an echo, like that.
Okay. In the instance of languages,
Yeah.
So meaning, it's fine.
Yeah. In the instance of languages, that's where you will need your three actors, let's say, your 3 voices.
All right.
Because you need that variety of dialogue there. Yeah. And actually, in the aspect of language, it is the most important to have different people talking, different voices. Because language is about talking. And we don't all talk the same. If we all say the word talk, it will sound different to different people. So it is also good to show that. Because also in Namibia, the Oshivambu people talk about a roadblock, and let's say the English people say roadblock, and als je wat moest van say loadblock, and someone else says something else again, and it's all a reality. It's a reality. So we just show it. That's all. So one is not right and one is wrong. It is how it is. So it's just a matter of showing it, as long as the information is correct. Okay. Okay, we continue.
It worked better when there were more mountains around us. Isn't that interesting that science is such an integral part of our lives? Even when we...
Okay, so again, science is an integral part of our lives. Yes, it's true, but it sounds preachy. So rather than saying it, show it. Okay? So by going there and showing the echo and going to the mountain and hearing the what, you don't even have to say it because you are showing it.
We don't realize or understand it. These days we enjoy the phenomenon of echoes, which we can explain scientifically. Obviously the boys and girls used to shout to compete against each other. We loved to hear the difference in pitch. We never even knew anything about frequency, vibration, or pitch. We just...
Okay, so here, of course, it was necessary to explain what is frequency, what is pitch. Hopefully they're still doing it, but it's just words to us now, so it doesn't mean anything.
Enjoyed ourselves. Now I know that a high frequency produces a sound with a high pitch and
Okay, so this is where they should have made a that everybody goes like this, because then it's easy that the person will never forget again what is high frequency or pitch.
Frequency is the number of waves that pass a point.
And then they can, then you've got their attention. Once you've irritated them a bit, then you can explain what it was and explain it. Then you've got their attention. Then you go to the next aspect, waves or what. So you can have waves crashing and you can explain that this is in real life how it looks, like waves and...
Every second. That brings me to the noise in our house. When will you turn it down?
Okay, so of course when you're writing a script, you are trying also to navigate the person through, we are now here, now. Okay, so she's saying, that brings me now to this. So the listeners are hearing, okay, you are now dealing with a new point. But if your stated objectives, your learning objectives are clear at the start, and you have a little something in between, they know it already, you are now moving to the next one. Because it's a little bit painful to listen to. We are now moving to the next thing. It is, it's better to just move on to the next thing or to say next. So now we are moving to the next thing. It's 8 words where you could have said next this. Okay. So we will talk about it later about word economy and simplicity of words. But remember that that's the thing of stepping away once you've done the draft, come back and see how you can upgrade to make it spicier. Okay.
See, I enjoyed our talk so much. I forgot that you had a problem with the amplitude of my music. I understand why you say it's loud.
Yeah, again, where's that loud music now? Because that tuk 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 is actually very nice. So I don't know what the mother's problem is.
It does sound very loud to me now. I suppose we can also cause noise pollution, like aircraft, motor vehicles, and many other...
And here, you don't talk about the noise of aircraft, noise pollution, you show it. You absolutely have to show it.
That types of machineries. It's good
Yeah, I mean, all of us know how dreadful it is, these machines and and stuff. So use it and they will never forget it. And then your learning is absolutely established.
Don't hear sounds or frequency that some animals can hear, or even ultrasound. That is beyond the range.
Now, for the first time, I understand why there's a dog barking in the background. But it would have been nice to, she could have said, the dog is barking, I wonder what he's hearing. And then someone could have said, it's, they hear things that we can't hear on their level or something.
Range of human hearing.
Well, listeners, there you have it. Sound and noise pollution. Interesting, isn't it?
Okay, so here it's so obvious. It was what I like about this is that it had a very clear introduction, clear this is what we expect. Then it was the body, and then clearly this is now the end. Okay, so that's fine. We can just see how we can make it spicier so that we don't have to say this was now the end or something. We can have what they call signposting, so that you always follow the same sequence, so people know what this is and what follows and so on. Okay.
Talk about
Sorry? To ask a question before giving the information. Yeah. Yeah.
Standard 8 level.
That is of course where you know whether you're following the textbook or because you have your syllabus, and as long as it's in line with the syllabus. And of course there are this is meant to prepare them for exams. So you have your outcomes, and based on the outcomes, you are trying to enable them to ask questions that would be, the outcome may be list the dangers of high sound or something. So that's then in line with your content, and then at the end of the day, when you remind them of the outcomes that they have learned, it should prepare them for an exam to come. Okay. Does that answer the question?
sound, we mean particles that vibrate and make the air vibrate. Sound waves travel through gases, liquids, and solids. The medium through which they travel best is solids.
And actually here, they've got music playing under the summary, but there was an opportunity here to have those repeated sounds. When they're talking about sound travels through waves or what, then they could have had waves here in the background. And it's nice reinforcement again.
Sound waves cannot travel through a vacuum. The human ear...
And what is a vacuum? Have it absolutely still for a bit. Yeah?
Hears sounds between about 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz. Sounds that are higher than 20,000 hertz are outside our range of hearing and are called ultrasonic or supersonic. Your ears are most sensitive to frequencies of about 2,000 hertz. Sound waves travel much more slowly than light waves. Let's have a look at how the ear hears sounds. When you hit a drum, the sound energy spreads up.
Yeah. So we can stop here first, but for now. But you can. It is inexcusable to say when you hit a drum and you don't do it. You just, all those sounds are so available on the internet. So you just do it, and then you say when you hit a drum, then what? Okay.
Out in all directions. Only a small amount of the total sound energy from amplitude or how would have objects reflecting the sound back to you. In our next program, we'll talk about another topic of physics. So please keep listening to our educational radio programs. Until then, from me, Audrey Polton, goodbye.
This program was brought to you by Namcol with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.
Yeah, again, I like the clarity of the ending, because she's navigating you very clearly about this is what you learned, this was the summary, and next time you can hear this. And yeah, I like the navigation through the whole thing. Okay, comments? Comments? Right.
Okay, a comment from my side. Just as Lynette has alerted us to earlier, you need to focus your what you share,
Yeah.
so that it comes out clearly to the listener what they're supposed to listen to. Somewhere in the middle of that radio lesson, someone might have lost interest because of that pronunciation and not coming through, and they might now lose out on the clear end because they throughout your discussion is not interesting. Yeah. So you need to be concise, really make sure that you share that important message which you want to share with the learners without too much unnecessary dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that dialogue that's so long is sometimes our understanding or misunderstanding of what we meant by using conversational style.
Yeah.
Now they are conversating too much.
Yeah.
But the conversation is not on the essential information that you want to share.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we have seen the things to be careful about. Pronunciation. What is this? Okay. Program. Use conversational language. Minimize words. Pronunciation. What else did we see? Sounds. Use sounds whenever possible to reinforce messages. Yeah.
Also, a last one from my side. As you have said earlier, as the script writer, remember the actors and also the digital editor can only do what you tell them to do in the script. Besides now maybe the sounds, the volume that was not good, but everything that happened in that lesson was done by the script writer.
Yeah. Yeah. The sound editor cannot add anything. It executes your script. Yeah. Okay, what subject do you now want to hear? There's chemistry and maths. Do you want to try a maths? Oh, yes, no, I agree. Agriculture. This one? The music is
Good
quite
day,
funky.
learners and listeners. This is our first program in our series of agricultural science, which is produced for grade 10 and 11 learners. And
I like her style. She talks clear. I like the funky music. It would have just been nice to have something more spicy before she said hello, listeners. No. Yeah, do you agree or not? Yeah, okay.
and anybody else who is interested. Today we're discussing the water cycle, groundwater resources.
Okay. Water also has a sound. So it would have been good to hear water in whatever way, from a tap, from a river, before you say, today we discuss water. Okay.
And water conservation. Please get your pen and a notebook ready, as I'll ask you a few questions at the end of this program. My name is Anna Iyambo, and today we have Asteria and Malakia with us in the studio. Say hello to the listeners.
Hello, listeners.
At the end of
It's nice and natural. Her voice is good. She narrates very well. The listeners are. I like that they don't wait for each other to say hello and then this one says hello. It sounds natural.
of this program, you should be able to describe the water cycle, describe the significance of groundwater resources.
It's also nice. It's ticking, right? So you can visualize this.
And describe the importance of water conservation.
Okay, this is too long. Huh? This is way too long.
Hi, Malakia.
Hi, Asteria.
I haven't seen.
This could have immediately happened after Melankia and Huhu.
You since 2019 when we were still together in the same school in grade 9. How have you been? How is the new school?
I've been fine, and school is.
Yeah. But also, it's something so natural to have this conversation, but it doesn't sound natural. It sounds like they're reading it from a thing, because you don't have to read from a thing. How have you been?
School, Asteria. Nothing to get excited about. I don't understand you. Last year you hated school, and you could not even wait for the bell to ring. And now, all of a sudden, you like school?
We really have good teachers.
Now I'm trying to think about what was it about? Water. So all of these words and nothing about water.
This year, I must say. And let me tell you, our new agriculture teacher, Mrs. Nambahu, is a really good teacher. Her classroom is so bright and colorful and interesting. There are posters and pictures everywhere. You can.
Okay. You have this these folders. You will see the video script was actually there before. Just have a look at the radio script there. Where is the video script? I see now in this one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, online viewers. Is it this? No, it's not this. Radio script. I think it was called. Okay, let's say this one. Okay, that there is an example we were thinking. So what we will talk about the format tomorrow. I just wanted you to look at this. As you are listening to the program, imagine that this is how the writer wrote it. There was intro music, then there was maybe a little bit more music with narration, and then there was a short joke. Or you could have had the joke before. Okay. And then there's just that little bit of narration, and so that you can see the bit that you have to put in is actually very little. So you don't have to use so much imagination and think up so many things. All you need are those examples. The examples will guide you and take you through. So you start with the learning outcomes, the objectives. From the objectives, you know already the questions that would come out of this is explain the concept of geography, identify the branches of geography, and explain the importance as a study field. So it is straight away exactly what this learner can expect in an exam. And you will find a way to explain geography with a practical example. So you have to think about 1 or 2 examples how you will explain, what you will use to explain the concept of geography. The branches of geography, you will find something like a practical example and the importance of geography, okay? So it's actually very clear to do, you just follow the clues, let's say. So with the script then, you just take them from, so in this learning program we are going to talk about, and then you change the topic. And then you tell them where in the module is it, according to that form we had before. The module, the chapter, where they can find it. So this is how the learner can navigate himself or herself through the program. And so then you can start it being a little bit personal, your own style. And okay, so this step 1, outcome 1, you just, this is where you have an example, practical example. And the amount of content that you put in there is minimal. It's just in support of the example or the practical application that you actually want to show. You want to use this program to show practical application, and your narration is just in support, as little as possible. Okay. So, back to, okay, so this one is, yeah,
Never
water.
be bored in that class.
Posters and pictures? About what?
You know, it's the agriculture class. So when you walk in there are posters about animals, gardens, agricultural products, and posters about the nitrogen cycle and the water cycle.
Wait a bit. You have always struggled with the water cycle? And now you tell me you have a poster in your class about it? Why doesn't my teacher have one? Does this...
Okay, tell me, why are you laughing?
Okay, so they're off topic, number 1. Number 2, like you said, it doesn't sound natural at all. 3, what is the relation with the teacher having all of these posters? Yeah.
Now it's like he's jealous of having a poster of water. Yeah. So this is the mistake of the writer. It's not the mistake of, because I really like those voices there. they could have done better with those voices. Because the voices will do anything the writer tells them to. But in this case, still we haven't heard the sound of water. And really, a poster of water. So, yeah.
It's supposed to help you understand the water cycle.
Of course it does. And I also had not realized how easy it was to understand until I saw that poster.
Oh, now do we...
So now you create the impression that you cannot understand the water cycle without a poster. That is what you are trying to do, the message, which is misleading.
Do you think you can remember the poster well enough to help me understand?
Yeah.
Why not? This is my chance to play teacher to you, who have always copied my homework in grade 9. Just take out a notebook, because I'm going to ask you to write down a few words to help you remember this.
Listeners, you can start by writing the word rain in the middle at the top of the page.
So what is this word? Ray, gray, dry, rain. Rain. You see, it wasn't clear, but if it is rain, it would have helped to hear rain. So.
We'll first look at what happens to water that falls when it rains.
So what happens when it, all of those many words could have been, 1,000 words, a picture. That's the idea.
You mean, what happens to the water? If it falls, what else?
But have you ever thought of what exactly happens to that water that falls on the ground?
Oh my word. Are you making me use my brain?
Really? I'm trying to think, okay, the brain consists maybe of 90% water. That's all relevance I can see here.
I've seen how water runs on the soil, starting from the little streams that...
So, but let me just tell you, any best, it doesn't matter, the best script, you can play it here, you can still tear it apart. You can always improve. So don't think that this is rubbish. It's not at all. But it is things that we can learn from. That's all. Just remember that even if your script is good, even if it is bad, someone else's will just be different, but there will also be mistakes. So we are doing this to get general principles about what is good and what isn't.
It run off the bigger streams. Near our farm, I've seen how these streams run into the river when it rains.
Good. You have used the word I was looking for, run off. Can you write it down right in the middle of the page?
Okay.
You have also used the word river. Write that in the line under run off, please.
Okay. So rain...
I think in terms of the old way, this would have been very good program. It's very clear, and it takes really the learner from place to place to place. But this is one of those examples where the learners would stay with the program because they have to. But they could have done more for entertainment. Okay. Okay, so there was a message here from online, and they are saying that I should also speak to them. How do I speak to them? In the camera. Okay. Okay, so that was yes, thank you. I will do that. Yeah. So they can also let us know what topics they want to see, what subjects they want to know, to see. Okay? And they can also give their comments because they can hear it, right? Yeah, so please give us your comments as well. We will also acknowledge them.
Falls and the water runs off. That is not a cycle. A cycle goes back to the beginning.
Again, a cyclone has a sound, right?
Sound the inside.
Cyclone. Yeah, it's like a cycle. Okay.
Such a hurry. Where else can the water run off to? Think. You have seen it before, but maybe not thought of it in the sense of it being part of the water cycle.
Near our village in the north, I've seen water run off to collect in the Oshanas.
Ah, I hear the sound of water. Finally, did you hear that? You didn't?
Can that be the part of the water cycle?
Let's see.
So rain falls and the water runs off. That is not a cycle. A cycle goes back to the beginning.
Don't be in such a hurry. Where else can the water run off to? Think. You have seen it before, but maybe not thought of it in the sense of it being part of the water cycle.
Near our village in the north,
It runs off. You can also write infiltrate and underground water under runoff. Can you see that your arrows are...
I quite like that they say these are the words we are going to discuss. It may not be very funky, but it's functional here.
Still all pointing down? And like you said, is it not a cycle yet?
Asteria, where does the water that falls as rain come from? Are you not supposed to talk about a cycle? Everything is still in a straight line.
Yes, miss. Let's get that water back to the atmosphere. How can this happen?
evaporation.
From where does the water evaporate?
From the soil, the dams, lakes, oceans, also rivers, and also streams.
Yeah, so these two voices here. So here we have like a narrator, and we have these two. And not so many voices. You see, it would have been good to have more sounds here. Maybe another voice. No? Because it's very between the two of them. And then when you don't have more sounds, it makes it a little stale. If at all possible, if it has a sound, if it makes a sound, you must show that sound because it takes the place of the picture that the person cannot see. Yeah. And where do you put that sound? Before or after you talked about it? Before? Yeah. That's right. You do first the sound, fade it, and then they talk about it.
And most of all, the ocean. Wait, I'm starting to see everything here. My arrows now go upwards from these words towards the atmosphere.
You see, now you are even explaining it to us. Is that the only way water goes back into the atmosphere? What about plants? Can they not help?
Yes, but plants...
Yeah, the thing is they're still talking about, he says, I see it now, but he says the line now goes up to the atmosphere. So I'm still seeing only a straight line. So we're just missing somebody to complete that thing by saying it actually goes around because it now starts again from the sky.
It's also transpire. How does that help?
What is transpiration?
Well, transpiration is evaporation from the leaves of the plants.
Okay. Comments about this program? I think it's really clear, and they tried really to make yeah, to give all the information. It's just that we are missing a bit of sound there. Do we have any comments? Will you tell me when there's comments? Okay, yeah, please make comments. Very welcome.
Oh my, I just said evaporation again. So I can write transpiration also with an arrow going upwards.
You surely can. Do you think human beings and animals can also help with the water cycle?
Okay, well, when we breathe or sweat, water vapor is released from our bodies, right?
Okay. It would have been good, this is very much documentary style, so it would have been good to bring in here somebody saying, this exercise, I'm so sweating. They don't need to say much. Showing more.
Right? The same for animals. Do you want to tell me that little bit of water vapor also plays a part in the water cycle?
Aye, Malakia. Are you the only one on earth that breathes?
Not at all.
There are 7.8 billion people on earth that breathe out a little water vapor. Plus, many animals and millions of plants that release water vapor. This process of living organisms releasing water vapor into the atmosphere is called respiration.
This to get the water out of the soil. We do it all the time at Ongenga in the Hangwena region. We dig a well with spades and take the water out with a rope and a bucket.
Yes, but you can only do that if the water is not too deep under the ground.
Yeah, it would have been nice to hear the sounds of that, because it will be familiar to the many people. That whole thing of taking the doing the whole well with a bucket and all that. If it's not familiar to people, then then don't refer to it. If it's familiar to people, it would be wonderful to hear it.
What would you do if the water is deep underground where your spade would not reach?
I know. My father had done this before on our farm near Tsumeb. People come with a big drill and they drill a deep hole into the ground to reach the water.
There's sounds of all that on the internet.
That's very well. But how on earth do you get the water out? How long will your rope have to be to get the bucket down there?
No, miss. That would be ridiculous. My father had put up a pump to pump out the water.
So far...
Is it? Okay, I skipped a little bit.
Water vapors moves up, it becomes colder and condensation takes place because,
is it still the same one?
As you know, when water vapor touches colder surfaces, condensation takes place.
And this is when raindrops fall on the Earth's surfaces. But what about the water that is...
But how on earth do you get the water out?
Why do you look so worried?
I think I have a problem now. It is easy to use the water that collects on the Earth's surface.
Okay, we can leave it here. What are the main things that we have seen from
But
this
what about the water that is infiltrated in the...
Yeah. What did we see from this? Okay. The main things from this. Keep the language. Yeah, just the less words, more sounds. Yeah. Show, not tell. Yeah, show with sound. Yes, sound pictures. Yeah, man. Show, not tell, like that. Okay. Okay? You don't want to tell me anything more about this program? No? Are you ready to do your own? No? It is 3:30, meaning we have a half hour. Do you want, so don't worry now about writing a script. I want you please to look at your exam, your template. Where is it now again? Those lists here, this. And so please make sure you have all the 5 programs that you're going to do. It is possible to do it all even in these 3 days. I'm here, I will help you. Also you online, I will. Can I give you my, where do these scripts go? They go to you first, the program developer, okay. So please pass it on to the program developer, and after that they get edited. Okay.
The writer submits the script to the program developer is also subject expert in most of the subjects, going to look at it. Maybe if we send it to the script editor, because normally script editing is also changing on the way of the sentence structure and so. After script editing then goes to the content editor and language editor. That's one option. Or the other one, it goes to the program developer, which will have the initial look at it. Then to the content. If there's some issues already, because we're all going through the training, then it will go back to the writer to rectify based on what we've been what we are learning now. So writer, then content editor, then script editor, then language editor. So I think the colleagues and all of us and also the viewers online, we can decide. I actually propose that we use it writer to PD, if good, to script editor, and then to content editor and for language editor. That's what I propose.
I just have a question. What does the language editor do? Because is the script editor not supposed to check the language also? What does the language editor check?
Language usage. It's just a part of our process that we usually do for the quality assurance or quality assurance of our programs.
Okay. I work very fast. Yeah. No, I was just asking. No, I was just asking. Because it sounds like a long line of places where it has to go.
At least I will propose that for the first script that's going to be written by the writers. So after the training, they write the first script, share it with the PD, share it with the script editor, before they continue with 2, 3, 4, and 5. So with the guidance that you get from the script editor, it's going to help you with the writing of all the rest of the scripts.
Mims is making a good point, and that is that actually your personal mistakes will be sort of unique to you. You will be inclined to use too many words. Another person is inclined to not think of examples. So if you have the first one back, then you have comments back. This is, yeah. So you can have your edited script back, and then you can have a list of comments. So look at this, look at this, look at this, okay? Because later on, that's the end of the line. You will send all your scripts to the PD, they send it to the next one, the next one, the next one. The next time you hear it again is on the radio, and then you hardly recognize it, okay? So it's good for you also to see what happened since they left you for this, okay? So, please finish this and then this. This must be done in the next half hour by 4 o'clock so that we can move on to other things tomorrow. Tomorrow we are doing the script format. So then we no longer work on this. We move then on to the actual scripts and work with the format. We will also look tomorrow at nonverbal communication. These are the things on radio, especially on intonation. And we will also talk about the learning outcomes, how to write them and what's important about them, and the planning of the activities, and the whole features of the script in terms of the sounds, the experts, and so on. And we will again look at what works and what does not work. Do you want to listen to one more, or do you want to start writing? Yes. Question? African languages.
Yes. That's why I just realized that the emphasis is that there should be more action, or let's say the sounds and everything in place compared to narrations.
Yeah.
So now, as African languages, let's say you are teaching a topic whereby it's analyzing a text.
Yeah.
So now, for a learner to be able to critically understand, to critically analyze a text, he should have an example of a text, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, so we will be reading the text for him or her, or what will be suitable, so that when we leave this training on Friday, we are on par with everyone here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm popping in questions here and there.
Yeah.
Can you maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, the issue there is, of course, that you cannot read a long thing, and then when analyzing, you have to read it again. That's the difficulty. So you must, the example that you're going to use in your program must be as short as possible, the thing. So then you will read it through so that they get an idea of it. But after that is like a comprehension test, basically. So you read it, they get an idea of the content. Then you would take it maybe line by line. So you explain a concept, then you take them to that line where the example is and how to analyze that. And then you take another aspect, you take them to the line. It's like you would analyze a poem, say.
Correct.
Okay. More questions?
I don't know, I, one as a language person also wouldn't really want to do, I'm loud, wouldn't want to do, I don't know, I wouldn't really want to do a lesson on text analysis on radio. I don't know, because, normally when they analyze a text, the person has to read this text. They might need to reread the text for them to really get a proper grasp of what this text is all about, for them to be able to analyze it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really advise that one would do that on radio, but I'm of course open for correction, and if there are other, suggestions and ways how it can be done. But to me, I just felt, I looked at it earlier and I felt it wouldn't be that easy as it would have been had the learner had a text in front of him.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it would be easier on video because they can see it. You don't have to read it constantly. So whenever on radio, whenever you refer to it, you have to read it again. So it is harder. So it depends on whether you absolutely have to do it on radio.
Can I add something there? What I think what you should done is to give the learner some methods how to analyze a piece.
Yeah, that's
you
what I mean by
don't have to read the
principles.
piece, but you
Yeah.
give them the principles and the methods and all that, how
Yeah.
to analyze a piece.
But then every time you give a principle, you have to repeat again
Yeah,
that
or get
line where
something
it's
that, yeah.
in the script, in the text. So it is hard, and it will be easier on video because they can see it and you can underline it, which you cannot do. So it is hard, but that is why you will select, I will do this on radio, this on video. So. Now, I do want you to make sure you can come tomorrow here, or you can email to the PDs your fully completed thing, meaning your 5 lessons also online. Your 5 lessons, where they are from the module, and fill in the practical examples from real life that you could use. That would be extremely helpful, and it would be really a basis for you to continue on when you are writing it. Okay? This one? This one is online, right? It is online. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I have to write it in the... Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. So for all 5 lessons, the module, the lesson title, and then how you will, how you can make it funkier. So you will not say, if your lesson is about reptiles, you will not say here also reptiles. Yes, the lesson is on reptiles, but here you would say, scurvy creatures or something just lighter. Yeah. And then here you tell us how does it apply to real life. What are if it's about water, then here you can say tap, dam, something, just something that you will use in your practical, demonstration about how it relates to real life. Okay, we must absolutely have it with the PDs by the start of tomorrow. If we can please have that. Then we can start tomorrow and do those, start working with the actual script. So, questions from me, not from you. Now it's questions from me. I will now see how well you listened. No. No, that's why I keep repeating. So that the 50% can be said again, and then you retain 25%, and yeah. Tell me at least 2 things. So if you put up your hand, you have to give me at least 2 things that you can do to make a person, 2 things that will make people remember your lessons better. Make it 3. Give me 3 things that you can do to ensure the learners remember your lessons better. Okay? Clever but no cigar.
Okay, one
No,
is...
so they remember better.
Keep it simple. Let it appeal to them, or let it relate to the real life happenings, or real life situations. And the rest they can add before I finish the whole sentence.
No. One more for you, otherwise you don't get a sweet. You get only 1 sweet for 3 things. Okay, you said keep it simple, you said make it fun, and you said relatable. Yeah,
Yes.
you're there.
Okay.
Energy.
Mine is 1, you can use humor. 2, you can use animals. And 3, you can use children.
Yep. Okay, next question.
You can use music, sounds,
variety of things.
Good pronunciation of words, and what was the other one? Yeah, 2.
Sounds, pronunciation. Come, you can do it. You can do it.
Keep it entertaining, fresh, and surprising, an element of surprise.
Okay. Fine. All right, now I ask another question now.
Yeah, before you ask. Before you ask a question, I think the voices of the actors must also be that interesting to attract or challenge them to listen. And the introduction also should be as such to trigger for them to listen. And the info has to also flow logically for them, for the listeners. Yeah.
Okay. A bit of energy before the end of the day. Yeah, they're nicer. Okay. Let's see.
Can I say one?
Yeah.
Maybe minimizing of words and not using a lot of words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have 1, 3.
Oh, and maybe this, what can I say? No, I'm lost. What can I say?
Minimizing of words.
Yeah, and maybe, respect.
Respect.
You need to end the respect by presenting, by addressing them with respect also.
Yeah. Okay. I want one more. Yeah, they are telling you.
Yeah, make it real, make it sound real, out of
the real life.
Yeah, out of real life.
Yeah, and human. Yeah.
Yeah, also start with what they know and build on it.
Yeah.
I think that way they can also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Do you have two more?
What else? No, that's all what I have.
Okay.
Let me also give chance to others.
Okay. Okay, tell me also 3 things, only one person can tell me 3 things, criteria based on which you decide what topics to develop into a lesson on radio. Based on what criteria? You online can also answer. Just tell us when you've answered. Will we see if they've answered? Which one is it now? No, it's not that one. That one?
Yeah. I don't think.
Is it this one? No. Refresh, no? Again there. No comments? Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
The questions that is not related to your question, the post here.
Oh, okay. Okay, is there something that we need to answer?
Okay, the questions that the colleagues post here is that how do the online participants submit the 5 lessons?
To the PD or
Our
by
answer
email?
there is that, but we also have other people. We can, the colleagues that attend that is involved in the tertiary level, you can submit your lesson plan to my email. I'm typing it in here. low@namcol.edu.na. Colleagues that are responsible for the AS level lesson development, you send it to the subject program developer. Ms. B.T. Ethel is asking where can we find sounds? Is there a special website? Ms. Lynette, maybe you can guide us for sounds.
Actually, you just Google.
Okay.
Just Google sound of what?
Yeah, I will. From
yes,
our
that's
side,
right. There's actually also findsounds.com. If you Google, it will take you there probably.
Find
sounds.
Sounds in one word.
Findsounds.com. But be very careful. It must be authentic, because sometimes a thing sounds different in America than here.
Okay, the sounds, I'm not sure whether my link, the website link to the online viewers is correct. It's findsounds.com. But we also have a library of digital sounds, our radio digital editor in the radio studio. So we can also share it with the script writers. But I would say, Lynette, if we include in your script, I want a sound of this, then the digital editor will insert the sound. And then the writer will must review the lesson before it's finally approved.
Yeah, but it is better to get it from real life. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, it must just not, like for example, there's often this thing of sound of a crowd, and a crowd sounds a little different in America than in Namibia, for example. Okay, there's this, thank you. So there's the fine sounds, animal sounds, household products, noisemakers. So that's fine. But yeah, as Mims is saying, also ask for help there. They have authentic Namibian sounds, or get it yourself and attach it with your script. This is the sound that I have in mind. Please use this, and the sound editor can just add it in. Okay. Yeah, I want to know what 3 criteria would you use for deciding which topic to develop. Well, it's very quiet. Okay. There's one possibility there. Okay.
You will start with the known to the new?
No. This is now to decide what lesson topics to develop. So what I'm thinking now is you have a book there. Let's say you have your book there, Afrikaans book. How will you decide what topics to develop? So you decide, I'm going to do something on woordsoorte, but I'm not going to do something on speech, toesprake, or what. What makes you decide to do it about this and not this?
Okay, I will try.
Okay.
First and foremost, I will check on the agency of the topic, how learners are struggling,
okay.
And then move based on the syllabus with the objectives that I want to achieve, or by the competencies I should cover. That's how I will.
Okay. So topics that they are struggling with, topics that that they need for the exam, say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the last one.
Yeah.
Topics that are not easy to be taught on video. Yes, I will choose topics because topics are not the same as they are. Some topics are very nice on radio or suitable on radio, whereas the others are preferably good to be taught on video. So that also will play a vital role in selecting which is which, or which is to be taught where.
And maybe it's not so much that it's not good to be taught on video, but it has great potential on radio.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good.
Yep. And I think we have one more, I'll get one more question.
Sorry?
Okay. Well, that is 4 more, please. Okay, so we have to design the lesson around the needs of the learners. It builds on prior knowledge, as Renette was saying. It's enhanced by examples. Learning is an active process, so good learning materials focus on learning activities. So because you want to help them put their knowledge and skills into practice for the real world. Tell me a problem of radio programs. A problem. Yeah, my question is not right. You're right. So when I ask that question, I want you to see the communication cycle.
Lack of feedback.
Ah, that's what I want. Okay. And the cameraman for your work today. And this one left for the other cameraman as well. Thank you. Okay. Questions, feedback, and comments of the day. Nothing? Nothing. Okay.
About the duration of the program, how many minutes? We only talk about the participants, we say 3, but the duration?
15? 15 minutes. 15 minutes duration of the programs. Yes.
Yeah, 15.
That is
maximum.
including the intros, including the music, everything. I have a question with relating to, you know, on the video, there's, do you still do credits? Do you do credits at the end? You say, this is the one who wrote it, and this is the one who edited, and this, do you not do it?
No, we didn't do it for this year. But well, I think when it comes to video, we'll talk about that. The use of external sources and stuff like that, that need to be referenced on our videos. But let's talk about that one.
Yeah,
Or
because
when we do video
if we
training.
do it on video, it's also nice to do it on radio. Like even all these podcasts, they say this is the one who mixed the sound, and this is the one that da da da, and you can do it fast-paced. So if you do it probably for video, need to do it for both, I think. Okay, that was our day one. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for being online with us, and we'll see you tomorrow. So do we start earlier? 8:30. Okay, 8:30 here, but we'll start at 9. Okay, so I'll start at 9. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.